Because you guys, we have all been abused by an abusive husband. No matter where where an African is, he is being abused by a non-African husband. And as I said before, the abusive husband never gives up power. It's got to be pulled and taken from him. And any of us, particularly women, we know this, right? Those of us who have been in an abusive relationship, we know it never ends until we end it. And that's what Black people got to see, that it will never end until we end it. Hi you guys, Debbie Lively again with Lively View. Okay you guys, let's just get right after it. Black people are in an abusive relationship with the world. And anybody who's ever been in an abusive relationship knows that the only way to get out is for you to take control in your own hands. And that's what Black people need to do, and that's what we're gonna talk about, all right? So before we get going, like I always like to do, I like to invite the ancestors into the room. I have my candle. I'm gonna light that, and you guys just be with me briefly while we invite them. Okay, let's just take a moment to invite them into the room. Okay, all right, you guys. So Black people are in this abusive relationship with people all over the world. No matter where Black people are, they're being abused. And as I said before, the only way, if you've ever been in an abusive relationship, you know the only way is to get clear of it is for you to take control. As long as you keep asking your abuser to stop hitting you, to stop spitting on you, to stop doing all kinds of crazy things to you, stop saying crazy things to you, they're gonna keep doing it because that's their power, that's where they get their energy, that's where they get their control from. So we have to begin to take things into our own hands. And I'm talking about Black people in the West, that's England and the US, there's Black people in the Virgin Islands, there's Black people in Jamaica, there's Black people on the continent. We're gonna talk about it all because no matter where Black people are, you guys have heard me say that, we are being abused. We have an abusive husband and we have to take control. All right, so let's just talk about first here in the West because that's where I am. I'm in the West. So we're gonna talk about that first. All right, so we know what's going on in the streets. We know that Black people, Black brothers are still being killed here. But how we see the abuse, and I'm gonna break it down into two categories. We're gonna talk about Africans or Black people here in the West, and then as it relates to Black people on the continent, okay? So here in the West, how we see abuse, right? We have what I will refer to as, and I'm gonna put it in two categories, verbal abuse, or that's the abuse that's not damaging you physically, and then we have the physical abuse. That's the abuse that's coming at you physically, right? So we have here in the West, we have people who are being abused in both ways. We have racial discrimination on our jobs, you know, when we're walking down the street, certain, you know, people saying certain things to us. We have the Kevins and the Karens coming at us. That's that kind of verbal abuse, right? We see that taking place. So when you have verbal abuse, when you're in a relationship, and I'm going to use that as a metaphor, this abusive relationship. When you have verbal abuse, we can tolerate verbal abuse for a minute, right? When you have verbal abuse, that will give you time to plan. You look at it, you say, okay, I got this Negro here who is abusing me. I see what he's doing. I've asked him to stop doing it. He won't change, right? Right? So you realize, okay, I need to do something. So you start planning. You know, when he sleep at night or wherever he is, you start planning your exit, right? That's the verbal abuse. That gives you time to plan, right? A lot of us see that here. So if we're in that situation, we haven't been physically accosted or attacked or physically beat, we can plan. So those of us who are in that situation, I'm in that situation. We need to plan. Be about the business of planning your exit from America. All right. Then we have those who are on the street. That's the Jacob Blacks. You know, that's the George Floyds. Those are typically our brothers who are being shot and killed on the street. They don't have the luxury of planning. They don't. So our black brothers, y'all need to realize this ain't going nowhere. The abusive husband is in play. And he will plan, his plan is to continue to abuse you because he has no other way, no concept of existing with you in a way where you all are equal. That, you know, he's too drunk on power. And you guys have to realize that. He's gonna keep on shooting you and killing you on the street and putting you in prison. That is his plan. So you need to get out of Dodge. You need to figure out a way to get out of here because it's not gonna change. We can elect whoever we want to elect. It's not going to change, all right? So think about that. That's here in America. Now, if we go to the continent of Africa, you guys are being abused over there too. And you guys have the same similar situation where you have the subtle abuse, the verbal abuse, and then you also have the physical abuse. Now, you all, subtle abuse is the leaders. Some of the leaders, some of those puppet leaders who are, you know, they're saying one thing and they're doing another thing. They're taking money from people, you know, from different agents, different other countries like China and France, and they're saying they're gonna do something and they don't do it. It's all talk and no action. They take that money and they line their pockets. That is you all's subtle abuse, all right? Now your physical abuse is, your physical abuse is outside agents. That's the outside agents, the people who are coming into the country and who are taking your land. That's the Chinas, right? That's the Indians. That's the, you know, those people outside of your country who you see coming in, taking your land, right? Taking your resources. That is your physical abuse, right? So you have the leaders, the subtle abuse, who are telling you, yeah, we're going to do something, we're going to make the country better, and they're just lining their pockets. Then you have the ones, the outside agents like China and Indians, who are coming in, who are blatantly in your face, taking your land and setting up businesses and taking everything from you. All right, so you guys have it too. Now, what you all need to do, and I'm not on the continent, but I'm just going with direction here, you guys. What's coming to me is that you guys need to organize. You know, I see a lot of Africans say, yeah, they're waiting for the people in the diaspora to come back and make Africa a better place, but you all can get started right now. And you guys have to organize yourselves. You have to vet your leaders. And when I say vet your leaders, you have to find people with character. You know, people who care about the people. And not just because they say they care about the people. You gotta look at their past. What have they done? Have they shown that they care about people? Have they shown that they care about other Africans? You gotta vet your leaders. You gotta find people with character, right? And then you guys have the internet. Begin to find somebody and then begin to put them out there and let them begin to speak. And then you vote for those people, right? You put those people to office. And stop just keep putting the same people in the office who have no interest but to line their own pockets and the pockets of their families and friends, right? That is what you all should be doing. Because here's the thing, if you guys let Africa go, right? If you don't have the leadership in place, there's not going to be any place for any Africans. And when I say Africans, I mean people who look like you and me to come, right? So you guys, your job, Africans' job is to protect the land, is to begin to organize yourselves, you know, and pick leaders who have proven records that they care about the people, all right? So I say all that to say is that Africans, we all have to work together. Those in the West, we need to be realized and we got to exit. We have to go to Africa and figure out and help where we can there. And the ones who are in Africa have to organize and plan. And then when we get there, we can work together and make Africa a better place. Because you guys, we have all been abused by an abusive husband. No matter where an African is, he is being abused by a non-African husband. And as I said before, the abusive husband never gives up power. It's got to be pulled and taken from him. And any of us, particularly women, we know this, right? Those of us who have been in an abusive relationship, we know it never ends until we end it. And that's what Black people got to see, that it will never end until we end it. All right, stop giving our power over to white people, to Europeans who don't have our best interests, and we have to take control. We have to. Otherwise, the abusive husband is gonna keep on knocking us upside of our heads. It's just gonna happen. It's just how it is. All right. So that's all I have to say. Thank you guys. I didn't intend to say all of this, but I got up this morning and this is what I was feeling. So this is what I'm saying. All right. So I will see you guys next time. Until then, ashe. Bye.